Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Remy and this is Sillage and Stories, where we pair amazing books with amazing perfumes for a full sensory reading experience. And today we are doing vampires. Take that however you'd like. If vampires were real, what would they actually smell like? And no, I don't mean blood. Because vampires have been interpreted in 1,000 different ways. Sometimes they're ancient, rotting monsters crawling out of a crypt. And sometimes they're these ageless, ethereal beings that are just known for romance and seduction. And some are just predators, doing what they do best, just being a vampire. And sometimes they're incredibly hot with questionable morals. So today we're pairing 3 vampire books with 3 vampire perfumes. So instead of matching just general vibes of the book or even the vampire, I wanted to do something a little different. The 3 different vampires we're going to be covering today is the ancient vampire, the romantic vampire, and the aristocratic vampire. And I have to say, I have been waiting for a chance to use one of these perfumes because it is just so good. So without further ado, let's get into it. Our first pairing is one of my favorites. This one is A Dowry of Blood. I read this one on Kindle and I really loved it. So I'm pairing that with my favorite of the bunch. This is Heretic's Nosferatu. And I am so in love with this one. Personally, for me, it doesn't react with my skin chemistry super well, but this is my partner's bottle, and it smells absolutely phenomenal on him. I love it so much. So with that, we are getting into the first type of vampire we're talking about today, which is the ancient vampire. And this one probably should not be romanticized because, this is the vampire that's been alive for thousands of years. It doesn't sparkle. It doesn't want to take you to prom. It's probably lived somewhere that hasn't seen sunlight since like 1792. A Dowry of Blood is essentially just Dracula told through the lens of one of his brides, Constantana. I think that's how it's said. And I think that one of the things that this book does beautifully is it captures that contradiction. It's luxury, it's romance, it's desire, but underneath all that beauty is something truly Constantana's relationship with Dracula begins when he saves her from death and transforms her. She becomes completely devoted to him, and over the centuries, this kind of turns into something possessive and unhealthy that gets tangled up with control and manipulation and abuse. This book is incredibly intimate and romantic at times, but that is constantly being undermined by the realization that this immortal creature is still a predator. Which brings us to Nosferatu. And this perfume absolutely does smell like a vampire, but not the sexy vampire, a fucking dead one. Nosferatu was created in collaboration with the 2024 film Nosferatu, and it was built around this cold, decaying, almost haunted atmosphere. It does have kind of a beauty to it though by the florals, and that petrichor, oh my gosh, it's really good. When I smell this, I don't picture somebody wearing it. I smell stone, like a crypt. Flowers that were left on a grave days ago and are starting to build. And there's this whole mineral quality running through it that just kind of reminds me of damp concrete and earth a little bit. And somehow it manages to be beautiful and unsettling at the same time. And honestly, I love this on my partner's skin. And I really wanted to pair this one with A Dowry of Blood because I think if we paired it with something beautiful and just super straightforward romantic, it would lose something in the story because the story itself isn't something beautiful and straightforward romantic. And the story itself would become uninteresting. The vampire in A Dowry of Blood is beautiful, he is seductive, he is intoxicating, but he's also ancient and predatory and fundamentally wrong. And Nosferatu gives me that same contradiction. There are moments when I smell it and think, oh, this is actually beautiful. And you know what? It actually is. But there are other times that I smell this and I can only imagine a cemetery at night, like something died here. And that is what I want for my ancient vampire. I don't want my vampire smelling like vanilla or cashmere. I want him smelling like he's been sleeping underneath the castle for a few centuries and somebody was stupid enough to wake him. And that is this. So, A Dowry of Blood and Nosferatu, beautiful, decaying, Immortal. This is absolutely the vampire that you should run away from, but it's unfortunate that he's probably also really hot. So on to pairing number 2. This one is going to be a romantic vampire. So we've established that vampires are these horribly gross undead creatures. Right, that's very important. We've done our civic duty. Now let's completely ignore that and talk about the hot ones instead. Our second pairing is Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent, matched with Sorce's Vampire Husband. Now this one I only am lucky enough to have a sample of, but I absolutely love this. It is such a unique and interesting scent. And yes, the perfume is actually called Vampire Husband. This story follows Araya, the adopted human daughter of the vampire king. She spent her entire life living and existing around all of these ancient creatures that could eat her at any moment. So naturally, this seems like a fantastic setup. But then Araya enters the Dowry, I think I'm saying that right, where it is this absolutely brutal competition held by the goddess of death. Who else? And in order to survive, she creates an alliance with Ray. And I think that's how you say his name. I've never actually heard these words spoken out loud, so I hope I'm saying them okay. Because Araya looked at her life that was already super complicated and thought, what could make this better? I know. Sexual and romantic tension with a vampire. And this is where we get into a completely different interpretation of vampire than a dowry of blood. Because this is the romantasy version of a vampire. Is he dangerous? Yes. Could he kill you? Theoretically. But we're not particularly concerned about that because we're waiting for him to kiss somebody. Vampire Husband understands that assignment. And this perfume is rich and sweet and gourmand, which is absolutely in my wheelhouse. It has marshmallows, cherry, dark chocolate, amber, vanilla, sandalwood. It's just beautiful. And objectively speaking, is completely ridiculous for a vampire. Nosferatu smells like something just crawled out of a grave, and Vampire Husband smells like he took a shower, put on a cashmere sweater, and baked you something good to eat. There's still darkness here from the cherry and the amber, but it is cloaked in this soft sweetness. It's cozy, it's inviting, it's delicious. And most importantly, it does not smell like danger. It smells like the person that your friends keep telling you is dangerous and you ignore them and just keep telling them that they don't understand him. Everything's okay. Which in my opinion feels extremely appropriate for a vampire romance. This book has brutality and blood, but it also has that romantic tension that we all love out of romantasy. And in this, Rain is dangerous because the entire world is dangerous. But the emotional experience of reading their entire relationship isn't cold. It's warm. There's banter. There's vulnerability. There is that wonderful romantasy trope of two people who absolutely could and should not trust each other, slowly develop feelings for one another, and fall into each other's arms at the end. So that's why I didn't want their perfume to smell like death. I wanted it to smell like temptation. Beautiful, delicious, amazing temptation. Vampire Husband is the equivalent of knowing perfectly well that it is not a good idea to open your door and invite a vampire into your home, but you're gonna do it anyway. Because maybe he'll kill you, or maybe he'll bring marshmallows. I think that's worth investigating. So, Serpent and the Wings of Night with Vampire Husband, amazing. Seductive, delicious, and completely addictive. This is the vampire that you were explicitly warned about and you completely ignored the advice. And finally, we arrive at my favorite vampire archetype, which is the aristocratic vampire, because apparently immortality also comes with generational wealth. And today I'm hearing Immortal Dark with Desert Rose. And we're leaving the crypt behind. This vampire does not live underground. This is the vampire that owns the building. Immortal Dark gives us vampires through the lens of this dark academia world of vampires and secrets, wealth, power, and incredibly complicated relationships. At the center of this story is Kaiden. I think that's how you say it. I feel like this is becoming a theme. I've never heard this word out loud, guys. So Kaiden enrolls in this university while searching for answers about the disappearance of her sister. Kaiden ends up entangled with this vampire that is connected to her family's home and knows way more about her sister than is letting on. There's academia, there's families, there's rules and power being thrown around, and the higher ups don't necessarily need to adhere to the rules. And that is where Desert Rose comes in. Desert Rose doesn't feel like a monster. It smells expensive. It's rich and floral and sweet and opulent. And while I don't find this fragrance particularly dangerous or strange, I'm finding that I don't actually want anything dangerous or strange to pair with this book. I want polished. I want somebody who has spent the last few centuries of their life perfecting the art of being civilized while still being this incredibly dangerous creature. And I think that that is the aristocratic vampire fantasy. They're not crawling through the dirt. They are standing at the top of a staircase, watching everyone beneath them at this ridiculously expensive party that has no right to exist. They are wearing something impeccably tailored, and they're holding a glass of something red. Is it wine? Probably. Should we ask? Absolutely not. The rose in this perfume, I think, works so perfectly for that because roses have always been associated with things opulent and gothic. They're beautiful and luxurious and romantic. So Immortal Darkness and Desert Rose, opulent, expensive, and absolutely dangerous. This is the vampire who doesn't chase you through the woods. He sends you an invitation. And for some inexplicable reason, you are speaking. So apparently, my conclusion from this very scientific study is that vampires have 3 different scents. 1, you smell like you're already dead. That's Nosferatu. 2, you smell so good that everybody temporarily forgets that you're dead. That's Vampire Husband. And 3, you've been dead so long that you've accumulated enough wealth to make it everybody else's problem. That's Desert Rose. And that's kind of what I love about presenting perfumes in this way, is that perfume scent in particular are just so tied to memory and intimacy and sometimes seduction. If you smell something that you haven't smelled in 20 years, your mind transports you right back to that moment and you know exactly what you're smelling. And I think the same for me goes with books. If I smell a perfume that I paired with a previous book, if I smell it again, I am right back in that story. And I just find that to be so much fun. So tell me in the comments, what do you think a vampire should smell like? Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today here in the sanctuary. If you like this content and want more of it, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and maybe even comment below. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay cozy, friends.